guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Welcome to the first episode of Lighthouse at the Lakes. I'm Olivia.
I'm Mallory.
It's so good to have you, Mallory. I'm so excited to start this. All right, well, first question of the day, quickly. What are you drinking?
I have a mimosa, but it's a kombucha mimosa, so I mixed a blueberry basil kombucha with champagne.
The other component of a mimosa.
The
Yes.
other component of a mimosa.
And
good.
I'm really happy that it's good. I have a mimosa as well, but mine is with orange juice because kombucha tastes like beer.
To you.
To me, but that's okay. Okay, so today's first episode will be primarily sun signs, but we'll also be going over some general astrology stuff and getting everybody sort of on board with the specific topic. So Mallory, why don't you start us off with what is astrology?
Astrology
Yes, ma'am.
is one of my favorite things ever in the world. If you know what astronomy is, then you know that it's the stuff in the sky.
Yes.
And then when you add the ology to it, it adds logic to it. And then you're adding like a mythology and archetypes to the things in the skies. The things in the skies.
The things in the skies that we look at every day. I think it's really crazy that, like, people who say, like, oh, I don't believe in astrology, right? That doesn't ever compute with me, because if the moon, right, can affect the tide
And our
bodies to the point where it's just like, how could it not affect who you are as a person? You know what I mean?
Girl, I don't know.
So what is zodiac?
Wait, first I want to say something, because there's
Okay.
this like really funny meme, and it was I forget like what the picture was, but it was talking about people who don't believe in astrology and or tarot or anything like that, and it was like, man, y'all really raw dogging it through life. And that just like it killed me, and I loved it, because that's exactly how I feel. It's like, these things help me get through my life.
Yeah, they definitely, I think that they're super useful to look at if you are like looking for a direction, because even if you feel like it's generic, right, you can still use this generic statement and apply it to something that will still be helpful to you. So it doesn't matter if it is like destined for you, it's still gonna end up helping you.
Well, and also when you're only looking at your sun sign, it is generic.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. But when you look at a whole birth chart, which we all have, and a birth chart will tell you where everything was in the sky when you were born. It's like a snapshot of where the sun was when you were born, of where the moon was when you were born, and like all the planets. It's where they were when you came
Into the
out
world.
into the
Yes.
world. And I don't see how that couldn't affect you. But yeah, exactly. So when you're looking at a sun sign, that's pretty generic. But when you are looking at a sun sign, a moon sign, your rising sign,
Mm-hmm.
and all of it together, it's definitely more specific.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never seen it not be on point.
I don't think I've ever, I'm sure it exists, but I've never seen any two people with the exact same chart.
Yeah, I don't think so. And maybe twins.
Oh yeah, probably most definitely. Twins always,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Depending on how far apart they are.
Yeah. Yeah, they would be the same, I would imagine.
But also twins are literally the same always anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
But what's interesting too is that they're opposites, and the fact that they're
Mhm.
opposites is also what makes them the same.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does indeed.
Like, to have light and dark, you have to have the thing
Yes.
which makes them the
That's why, kind of on an unrelated note, when people are like, is water wet? The answer is no,
same.
because
Your TikTok on that.
you've seen my TikTok
I've
on that?
seen your TikTok on that.
But it makes sense, right? In order for water to be wet, it has to also have the ability to be dry. But water can't be dry because something only exists if the absence of that thing also exists. And so
Which makes them the same.
yeah, exactly. And water is what makes things wet, and therefore water itself isn't wet. And I know a lot of people are going to come for me for that, but I stand by what I said. I said what I said.
I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
All right, so going more specific then, what is your sun sign?
I'm a Virgo.
I'm a Capricorn.
And your sun sign is always the one that, like, when someone's like, hey,
What's
girl,
your sign?
what's your sign is? You respond with your sun sign.
Yes. Yeah, so if you don't know what your sun sign is, that one is super easy. You can just Google zodiac sign for your birthday, and that is probably the first one that will come up. But you can walk people through getting their full chart.
You don't even need the year you were born for your sun sign, just the date. And it'll show you or tell you where the sun was when you were born. Like the sun was in Virgo when I was born. When I was born. The sun was in Capricorn when you was born.
Yes.
And then it'll also what am I saying? What am I talking about?
Finding your full chart.
Finding your full chart. My favorite place to do charts is an app called Time Passages. There's also Cafe Astrology, which is just like a website you can go to. You had an app that you were showing me a while ago. Suburb.
It was called CoStar, but I actually found out things about CoStar that it was sort of essentially created by people who are not into astrology, and they did it as like a joke. So I like deleted that. We're not.
Oh, rude.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Dogging it through life.
I could be wrong if the creators of CoStar are watching this and I'm wrong. I'm sorry for slandering, but that is just what I heard. So I would not recommend that one. I think Cafe Astrology is probably a good place to go. So
when you look up your birth chart, you're gonna need your birthday, the month, day, year. You're gonna need the time that you were born, and you're gonna need where you were born. And then you just kind of load all of that in, and you can even Google astrology or natal chart calculator, and something will come up for you, and you just put that information in. And usually, like a lot, if you're not familiar with it, it's gonna look like a lot of junk.
Yep. Is coming
up like a foreign language. Because it kind of, it is a language.
Yeah.
First of all, if you don't understand it, you can hit me up and I'll give you a birth chart reading. Second of all, if you just kind of scroll through, you'll be able to find a chart that has, it'll tell you, it'll have each planet listed, and then next to it, it should have the sign that it's in. And then they usually give, very in detail descriptions of what that would mean. And, but then, you can also break into the houses. So, say you had, do you know what house your Capricorn's in?
I want to say 6th.
Okay, so say you have your sun in Capricorn in your 6th house. That's going to mean something different than having your sun in Capricorn in your first. Well, it probably wouldn't be in your first house. Your first house is where unless your ascendant and your sun are the same.
What we're saying is hit her up for a full birth chart reading, because she will go through all of that with you.
Yeah, I got you. And I'll break it down to the most complete basic thing that we can look at. And also, later on, if you want to know more, we can get into aspects and things like that. But we're not going to talk about aspects today.
No.
We're just going to talk about astrology.
Yeah. And this season, we will be covering the big 3, which is sun, moon, and ascendant. So at the very least, you can get your big 3, hopefully a good understanding of those. And that will give you a really good, I think, beginnings into astrology.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so what are they? What are the signs?
What are the signs?
Do you wanna go in order?
Yeah, we can go through the signs. Something that I would like to kind of approach first is sort of like a mild glossary. So to begin with, we have, and this applies to tarot as well, we're gonna have water signs, earth signs, fire signs, air signs. And when you're looking, this is kind of taking it a little deeper than it needs to, but when you're looking at tarot, you have wands, which are fire signs, swords, which are air signs, cups, which are water signs, and then you have earth, which are the pentacles.
We're only literally 2 earth signs, and that's the one you couldn't think of.
So you have these signs, and if you're thinking earth, it's, think earthy and grounded and green and just, being out in the woods barefoot. And if you think about air signs, it's very much in the head. They tend to be, air signs are probably the most intellectual, fast-thinking people you can know. And then we got water signs. They're the sad boys.
Sad boy hours.
Sad boys. Not even sad. They're just probably more in touch with their emotions than anybody else. And then fire signs. I mean, we all know fire, right?
Yep, indeed. Fire signs are fire signs.
And then we have, I think they're called the quadruplicities, which are, I know, because the elements are the triplicities, and then we have the quadruplicities, which are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Mm. So we have cardinal signs, and my buddy Olivia is a cardinal sign, yeah. And they're the initiators. She's why we're doing this podcast.
Thank you. Oh.
Hey.
But also you, I couldn't just sit down and talk about astrology for an hour.
Yeah, but that's because I'm mutable and I'm adaptable, which is another one. Mutable signs are very adaptable, and they can initiate, they can follow, they'll just, seep into their environment. And then we have fixed signs, which are very resistant to change. They're kind of like, when I think of fixed signs, I think of the roots of a tree. They ain't going anywhere. And they're more about finishing and perfecting things. They're the editors, if you will. So, if we start with Aries.
Which this podcast almost was an Aries.
I know.
Because as of today, if we were to post the podcast on day of filming, it would be an Aries. Which we just don't want. No shade to my Aries.
But also shade.
But also a little shade. They're just, they're a little bit impatient. They're they're a fire sign.
Oh.
And yeah, I think the Aries are probably the fieriest fire sign to me. They're just very
really
hot-headed.
I think they're the wateriest.
Really?
Yeah, because it's there's just, when I think of Aries, I think of children, and if a kid pushes a kid, and then that kid pushes them back, and the kid who initiated it starts crying. The Aries. Saying Aries pushes a kid, and then that kid pushes him back, the Aries is going to be the one that starts crying.
Okay. I don't really know enough Aries, but all I know of Aries is tons of aggression and starting things, but also you're right, probably not finishing them. That's for sure.
I don't know if y'all can see my face, but
we've got some famous Aries though.
Yeah.
Van Gogh, who cut off his own ear, so
I mean, they cry.
If you're an Aries, please don't stop listening just because of this.
But also, sorry, I haven't been an Aries that wasn't insane. At least a little bit.
I don't think I have either. Yeah. Sorry. Eddie Murphy, also.
Insane.
Yeah.
Houdini?
Elton John.
Insane. Wonderful.
Insane in the membrane. Yeah, and that's a big thing too, is just because I do want to say this quickly, just because we will, say some negative things about probably every sign, but you, regardless of your entire chart, you could have Aries all over your chart and still be a good person, so we're not saying that you're not a good person, or that that just because you're an Aries means that you're aggressive and insane. But it's just, it's in the stars. It's the trends that have been seen and observed based off of the chart. So keep that in mind. We're not saying you specifically are insane, but
and also, and the word insane is strong, and
yes.
It's also like most Aries are undiagnosed. Sorry, I'm trying to be politically correct, and then I make another joke out of it. But also, like, if you can't laugh at yourself, I don't think that you should be listening to this podcast.
That's true.
Just
that
saying. Shall we move to Taurus?
Tauri! I love my Tauri. Capricorns are notorious for getting along with Tauri. I say Tauri even though Taurus. Well, Taurus is just a mouthful. Taurus. I love my Tauri. My boyfriend of 4 years is a Taurus. And we live in the same house with Miss Mal.
And they're only darling. I hear all of their conversations, and they're just sweet, and they love each other. And also, yeah. I've talked to you about this, but they fight well.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't know, never really got to see and really appreciate.
Oh yes, and we have a dog. I don't know if he's in frame, but we have a dog.
This is Bear. He's a Cancer.
He is a Cancer. He doesn't have cancer. He is a Cancer. And we have 2 cats who may or may not also make an appearance, Nikki and Jinx. We will point them out if they hop up on this table, but
also I don't think we know their signs.
We can find them out. I have the birth certificates for both of them.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I think Nikki is a Scorpio.
I could see that. I get along with Scorpios really well.
Yeah. But anyways, we're talking about
Taurus.
So, yeah, they're very stubborn, like very into their ways, but also very good with finances, very practical, very loyal,
Fixed,
yeah.
Wait, what was Aries? I forget which one Aries was. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Aries is Cardinal. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. The
like
initiators. Yeah, that's why you said the Aries would push first. Somebody else would push back. Like you knew without even knowing. That's how good you are at this.
Also, there is a thing called intuitive astrology. I wouldn't recommend it, but it also kind of makes sense sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to take away from Taurus.
No,
Tauri.
it's okay. Yeah. Well, our podcast is a Taurus.
I know.
This podcast, at the time of being posted, is
as we give birth to this podcast, it will be a Taurus, and that was planned.
It was planned because if we posted it any earlier, it would be an Aries. No, but I really do love my Tauruses. So,
I also I hope this doesn't get too complicated, but I would like to bring up what the signs. So, because I think it's important to talk about the planets too, because that is something that doesn't get talked about a lot, and it's like intermediate astrology, I would say. But first of all, Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars, it's the war god.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And I think that it's such a beautiful thing for Taurus to be ruled by Venus, because Venus is so much, if you think Aphrodite, right? Mm-hmm. And you think about a Taurus who and they want all the nice things. They want the good food. They want the good money. They want the good things.
Money.
So that's, I think that's another way to think of it too. They're a very grounded material. They just want the good stuff. They do,
but they're also willing to work to get it. I think that's what makes them more grounded instead of because there's materialistic air signs,
Yeah, for sure.
But they a Taurus is probably the one who will hop alongside their Capricorn and fly off into the nice aesthetics of things, and I love Tauruses.
Well, when you think about it, so the Taurus, their symbol is the bull.
Yeah.
So it's which also adds to how you make a Taurus angry? You poke them, and you poke them, and you poke them. When you think about, like, matadors, and you think about, like, the red thing, and they're actually, like, torturing the bulls behind the scenes, just so y'all know.
Oh. That's what I thought. I really thought you were going to be like, you just show them red, and I was going to... But no. Yeah, no,
you play them red.
You what?
Just, I'm kidding. Play them red, because you love Taylor Swift.
Oh.
I made a Swiftie joke.
Oh. We don't make jokes negatively at Swiftie's expense.
I didn't feel like it was.
Oh, okay.
I didn't feel like it was at an expense.
Okay.
So you play them red and you get them going.
Ah, okay.
I didn't mean like torture.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
I was like.
Dag nabbit.
Oh, yeah, dang. We can edit them out.
I don't know.
Dang.
Yeah.
Is it really? Is it really?
It is in the eyes of YouTube.
Okay.
So that's okay. But anyways.
We can bleep.
Yeah. So that's Taurus.
That's the Taurus.
I love my Tauruses. If you're a Taurus out there, I love you.
Also, The Rock and Da Vinci are Tauruses. Taurus.
The Rock. You know what's funny is Evan said he feels like The Rock is kind of a D-bag. He gets that vibe from The Rock. And I was like, I think you get the wrong vibe from The Rock because I don't get that vibe.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't like being made fun of, then you would think that The Rock is a D-bag.
Yeah, you're probably right. But like The Rock and Kevin Hart's relationship is so funny and cute, and I just love it. Oh. Okay.
Ew. Uh-oh. Oh, Geminis, come on. Geminis are great.
I have met a small number of Geminis. Okay. Both of which were involved in disgusting criminal activity. We'll say that.
Well, I'm sure there were other things happening in their chart.
I'm sure. But also very manipulative. Like, we're friends with these people, and then the friends of the people they were friends with, they would be hurting and harming and manipulating. And it just is so two-faced for me. It's so two-faced for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have that ability because they're so smart.
Yeah.
I mean, they sound sort of messed up. Like, they're so smart that they can manipulate you so well. They can. But it's also, like, that's, aside from astrology, that comes down to your own moral compass.
Right.
If you think that's cool, then there's that.
It just happened to be, like, a part of every Gemini I have met.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird. But I know that you have some Geminis you love. So that's why I was saying earlier, like, obviously, like, you can be a good or a bad person no matter what sign you are. But that's my personal experience with Geminis.
My mom's a Gemini.
I know, and I'm sure she's so smart.
And we love Tony.
We do love Tony. We do love Tony. But also, I do feel like Geminis, like, as an empath, which we'll talk about later, Geminis are the hardest for me to read. Because of how good they are at putting on whatever front they want. Yes, and there's two. I'm like, which one am I talking to today? And I know generally, but also it throws me off. It throws me off a lot because the way that these signs want to be helped, it changes.
Yeah, I feel like a Gemini would usually give you the same twin most of the time unless you bring out the other twin.
I have. Not with Tony, but with certainly with other Geminis. I've seen a lot of both sides. But, so Geminis are definitely, like, the twins.
They're ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is all about communication. It was Hermes, the messenger god. He had, like, the wings on his shoes. And so it's like that. It's very, like, intellectual, communicative, air, smart, flying, fast.
Yeah.
Like, fast thinking.
And I love Liam Neeson, who is a Gemini.
She loves Liam Neeson.
I do. Taken is up there in my favorite movies. Like Taken and Legally Blonde are like
that's
two of
so
my
weird.
favorite movies. Yeah, it is a little weird, but
for someone who doesn't watch movies, and those are like your two favorite movies.
Well, and I love Gran Torino.
But I feel like maybe that's why those are your two favorite movies.
It's because I don't watch enough.
Yeah.
Taken. Listen, I could go on a whole rant about Taken, which I won't do. But the reason that Taken stands out for me is just because of, like, I love seeing the skills of a spy like that. Or, you know, of whatever, like, job that he had when he was retired before he goes and rescues his daughter. Like, the way that he gets her back and how fast.
Okay, girl, we're not going to talk about Taken right now.
It's kind of hot, though. So, Johnny Depp is also a Gemini. Cancer! Like my bear! Where did he go?
I don't know.
That's not good. Cancers. You can go ahead and talk about Cancers.
Cancers. I love Cancers. I'm a Cancer rising. So also, when you think about like a sun sign and your rising sign, if you mix them together, then you like really have your outward personality. That's like the biggest grasp you can get on how you project and how others see you together is a mix of your sun sign and your rising sign. So I'm a Virgo and a Cancer, and that's how I project. I'm very like detailed, and I'm going to tell you when you're wrong, and I'm going to be very blunt about it. But I'm also like, you know, when you wake up, I'm going to make you coffee in the morning and get you some water and like sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Yes, because when I wake up in the morning, my first thought is, dang, I really wish I had some sunglasses.
I mean, that's my example because that's something I've done for somebody I loved.
yeah. I gotcha. Well, and I'm a Virgo rising.
Yeah, I know.
And I can't wait to talk about Virgos because I love you so much.
So Cancers are ruled by the moon, and that's a big reason they're so like intuitive and emotional, and why their emotions ride the waves, if you will. And that can be hard for some people to deal with, but it's also, it's one of the most honest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. True. We have Tom Hanks and Robin Williams is a Cancer too. Oh, Tom Hanks and Robin Williams are just so amazing.
I know.
I
I don't know them, obviously, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like they are probably like two of the most genuine, famous people.
Yeah.
I would argue that there's way more, but
yes.
I don't know. They have that vibe where it's like you feel like you know them.
Yeah. And I really just feel like me and Robin Williams could have been best friends. I really do feel like. I mean, I think
cry, honestly.
I know, but I feel like he probably was that guy who was best friends with everybody, which is so sad. But, anyways,
he definitely brought a lot of people a lot of joy, though.
Yes,
The world without Robin Williams would not be as good as it is.
That's true. That is true. I think you also could possibly make an argument that he did what he was supposed to do in this world.
Yeah, that's always an argument.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about, we always do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like how I ended up here living with you.
Yeah.
It took some weird steps to get to where we are, but here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And it all needed to happen exactly the way that it happened.
Yep, that is true.
Leo.
My dad is a Leo.
Your dad is a Leo?
Yeah. But
Are you sure he's a Leo, though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he is, like I was saying, the least Leo I've ever met. Very quiet, very timid, which is very unlike most Leos, I think.
Okay, so you said August 13th?
12th or 13th.
12th or 13th? Okay, so that actually makes sense because he's sort of on the side that leans towards Virgo. When I think of astrology, when I think of any sign, I kind of visualize like a scale. And when you think about cusps,
yeah,
right? So like if you are, say you're a Leo and you're born like right in the middle between July 23rd and August 22nd,
yeah,
then you're probably the most Leo you can be.
Yeah.
But when you are, like, when you tip on the scale towards Virgo, or you would tip towards Cancer. So he tips towards Virgo, which
is why he has the reserved sort of...
Yeah, and the analytical observation.
Yes, ma'am. I love astrology. But yeah, so Leos typically, though, are
think of the sun. I think of, like, yellow and bright. And for some reason, I know Beyonce's a Virgo, but I think of Beyonce... Oh, I think it's because of the glyph. The glyph for Leo, it looks like a person with, like, a big ponytail. And it always made me think of Beyonce for some reason.
But yeah, very enthusiastic, powerful, creative people. Leos are just sunshine and sunflowers and just I love Leos and Leo energy.
Yeah, they're the lions.
Obama.
Obama. They're also associated with the strength card in tarot, which, I mean, we'll probably do like a whole other episode that, because every sign and every planet corresponds with a tarot card.
Yeah.
And but the strength card is like a woman and a lion.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's
Leo,
man. Virgo. We've got a Virgo in the house.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, we
That is
love
me.
our Virgos.
But I got a mimosa bird.
Oh, cute. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Well, I will let you talk about Virgos then.
Virgos. Analyze. We analyze. We're a little cold. We like to be by ourselves, but we also like to be around people. But in order to be around people, we have to be able to be around ourselves.
Yeah.
For a while. I'm just gonna bring it up again. Like, we're associated with the Hermit in tarot card because we like to hermit, and I mean, I relate to that very much.
Pink is a Virgo.
Pink is a Virgo,
and she just is so.
I know.
I
And
love
Michael
Pink.
Jackson.
And Michael Jackson.
I know.
It's
I know.
amazing.
And Beyonce. And Freddie Mercury.
And okay, so we got some heckin' musicians.
I know. And Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl. You know what? You know what's interesting and kind of funny about Roald Dahl is he wrote this book, the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. The only pretty much the only thing I remember of the BFG is that it was dedicated to Olivia. It said for Olivia, and I just always thought that was me.
For me. I was like,
it's for me. It's for me. I've never had a dedication before, so I was very excited to see that as a young child.
I'll be your Big Friendly Giant.
You are already my Big Friendly Giant.
I'm 5'11".
She's 5'11". I'm 5'7". She's 5'11". Our little balanced Libras.
But wait, you're also a Virgo rising.
I am a Virgo rising.
So she's like me.
On the outside.
Sort of.
And then on the inside, I'm like, we gotta get things done. Things have to be black and white and logistical and the this or that or the other thing, and that's it.
But there was a joke when we figured out, because first she thought that she was a Leo rising,
Yeah.
and then she figured out she was a Virgo rising. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense, because you like, there's a thing about you'd rather do it yourself than have someone else do it the wrong way. And then we were like, well, the thing about it is, Yeah. You just, and she's like, yeah, I know.
I do.
We're like, we know. I know.
Yeah.
So
we just know.
It's like that.
We just know. And that is very much the case. Is like, I love my coworkers, and they do work very hard. But I have a standard that I like to work to, and if other people are not working to that standard, I will just do it myself. Like, I'm not gonna force you to work to that standard. Like, I'm not gonna, yell at you or scream. I might get a little passive aggressive, a little angry, but I'm not gonna fight somebody to try and get them to work hard. I will just take over and do it myself.
Or if they do it wrong in the first time, she'll go back through and redo it.
Yeah, because
to her standard.
Yeah, just like make stuff clean.
Which, like, honestly, to be fair, I want to argue that it's the right standard, and, like, of course it is. But, like...
But there are things that I worry about that are not a big deal.
Yeah.
But, whatever. If I feel like I have enough time and energy to make everything a big deal, I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
But We're on Libras. Our balanced Libras. Our GM, our boss is a Libra.
Mm-hmm.
One of our best friends, Lily, is a Libra, and they're amazing.
Yes, they are.
You can talk about Libras.
Yes, they are. Libras are also ruled by Venus. But it's kind of different. So they're an air sign. So like how we talked about Taurus and how they're ruled by Venus. Libra's ruled by Venus, but it's more, in my mind, it's more visual. My best friend, CJ, she's a Libra, and she's very symmetry in a person. She loves a beautiful person.
As we all do.
I know. But so many beautiful people just end up being not great people because they're just so pretty.
Yeah.
Not to say if you're pretty, you're a bad person. It's just that tends to happen.
Yeah. When being pretty becomes your only personality trait, that's when you're kind of stuck and unfortunate.
Yeah.
But very balanced because that is the scales. Artistic people, like you said, very visual. Yeah.
They're also just like super airy. Like they'll go with the flow.
So do you think that because they're both ruled by Venus that Libra would get along with a Taurus, or do you think that they would kind of clash in that way?
I do think a Libra would get along with a Taurus. I think a Libra would get frustrated with a Taurus because a Taurus would be unwilling to move.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
And it's sort of like that with me and CJ. We have this like joke where she like blows me around because she's the air and I'm earth, and she pushes me off cliffs and gets me to do things. So it's kind of like that. But I think Tauri are harder to move. Like imagine trying to get a bull to move.
You just be slamming your body against you, like move, and they just look at you with their big old heads and what?
Come on, that's a Taurus though.
I know.
They're so cute and just like a little bit aloof. Every Taurus I've ever met
are so cute, so sweet, so strong-headed, and just a tiny bit dumb.
Oh,
tiny bit. Well, the
but
degree.
In the best, cutest way.
Yes, and I also think that when a Taurus is very passionate about something, they are very smart in that regard.
Yeah.
I just think a Taurus does not value they don't value information they don't feel is necessary for them.
Yeah.
So they'll forget about it.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I respect that.
Scorpio, just like my mommy.
And our Tess, baby.
And our Tess. We have a coworker named Tess. We love her. She's a Scorpio. The beautifulest. I mean, just a goddess of a Scorpio. Same with my mom. Very gorgeous. Scorpios are beautiful people. I mean, they really are.
I've seen pictures of your mom, but dang.
Yeah, I know. We might be able to edit in a picture of my mom onto the YouTube. So and Tess too. So if that's a thing that I have the ability to do, there's probably pictures here on this screen of my mom and Tess, but somewhere. But yeah, so very definitely. I think the fieriest water sign for sure.
I would agree. When I think of a Scorpio, I think of the exoskeleton, and I think about how mushy they are inside.
Yeah.
How hard they are on the outside, and how they have a stinger.
A stinger. A bit of a stinger.
And if you be messing with them, they will sting you.
Yeah. Passionate.
But they're just mush on the inside.
Yeah. Very loving.
There's
very
no
sweet.
water.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something kind of like goth about Scorpio to me. Always, when I think of Scorpio, I think of someone like dressed in all black.
Yeah.
Because
Scorpios are good in it.
That's the look.
Yeah. But yeah, very persistent, emotional, but very loving, very sweet. Big teddy bear on the inside, but on the outside, you're a little scared of them.
It's like a cactus, like a really pokey cactus.
Yeah.
I love Scorpios.
I love Scorpios too.
I haven't met a Scorpio I don't get along with because I'm really good at getting into that mush.
And Danny Devito is a Scorpio.
Also Sylvia Plath.
Yep.
If you don't know about Sylvia Plath, she was like I don't remember the timing.
Me neither.
Oh, gosh, was it like, I don't know. But she wrote some dark stuff, and then
She wrote The Bell Jar.
yeah.
If like, I think that's the one most people are familiar with.
Yeah.
If you've read The Bell Jar, if you've heard of it, that's Sylvia Plath.
And then I do believe committed suicide in an oven.
In an oven.
Put her head in an oven.
She's like, she really was like, you know, like, I wonder if her parents, like, when they were pregnant with her, they were like, there's a bun in the oven. Never mind. Next.
I feel like that might have been the darkest thing I've ever heard you say, ever. And I don't think you even realized how messed up it was until it was already like...
True, yeah, until it was out in the air. I was like, oh. I really channeled that Scorpio energy just there for a sec.
Show did.
I can't remember if I have Scorpio somewhere in my chart. I'm sure I do, though.
You gotta.
I gotta.
You gotta.
Sagittarius. Sagittarius.
Sag.
I typically don't really get along with Sagittariuses. I think they're just a little bit...
You and Anthony get along so well.
We do, but I think Anthony is another one of our coworkers. He's our boss. But Anthony, I think I get along with Anthony because of other stuff in his chart.
I bet he leans more towards Scorpio.
I think so too. Because, yeah, I mean, so like Miley Cyrus is a Sagittarius. Well, Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius. And for those of you listening, you know, I love Taylor Swift very much. The Lighthouse at the Lakes comes from Lighthouse being from The Used, which is one of her favorite bands, and The Lakes, which is a beautiful Taylor Swift song. So some great Sagittariuses that I haven't met. But yeah, they're just... Sagittariuses are a bit much for me as a Capricorn, I think.
Yeah,
sometimes.
girl, I dated one for 2 years.
Oh, girl.
And I have scars to prove it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we went out and we did things.
Yeah.
Which isn't usually, like, my vibe.
Yeah, very adventurous.
I almost died in a creek because of a friggin' fluffin' Sagittarius.
Taylor Swift has a few songs about, like, car accidents. She always says she's in the passenger seat, but I feel like there's just a little bit too many for it to be her in the passenger seat. So I do love Sagittariuses, but also, you know, sometimes they're just a bit much for a Capricorn, because I just think, you know, they're a fire sign, and I'm so grounded that when you light the world on fire, you just get a really big fire.
Yeah, and then, you know, Earth just feeds fire, but the Earth gets burnt up.
Yep. Yeah. So I think Sagittarius probably would love me. Yeah, there you go. That's why they love you. Fire signs love you, because they're like,
I'm gonna hit you up.
And then you're like,
then I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then we cry. You know.
Oh, what? Capricorn. That's me.
Olivia is a Capricorn.
I am. And so is one of my very first friends at the job we work at now, Eleanor. She is also a Capricorn. Just lovely people. Really. Maybe I'm biased, but I love Capricorns.
I mean, you know, you might be.
Oh.
But I also love Capricorns. I've never met a Capricorn I didn't like.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like you the first time I met you.
But that's because you thought I was too nice.
Yeah, you freaked me out. But now I'm like madly in love with you.
Oh, I love you so much.
But I've never seen anyone work like a Capricorn works. Like, if you... I don't know if this would be a bias thing, but if you're ever, like, hiring and you figure out that, like, someone's a Capricorn, just hire them.
Well, something that's interesting is that you can't legally do that, because that's discrimination, actually.
No,
You also legally can't ask somebody's age in an interview. Even though they give you that information on the application, you can't ask it in an interview.
Yeah, but you can look it up when they give you the
Right?
information.
I know. But yeah, so very much strategical, very black and white, very much like I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be, they tend to be, or they say that they're organized.
Not like a Virgo though.
Not like a Virgo. Yeah, I'm certainly not. I'm not like organized. I'll just work hard, and I do really like to find the smarter, not harder way.
Yeah, that's
of
the
working.
Virgo in you.
Yeah, that's true. Jim Carrey is a Capricorn. Elvis.
Rod Serling, you guys.
Okay.
Rod Serling wrote Twilight Zone. Like the theme song on my phone whenever I get a text.
Yes.
Rod Serling's amazing. Also, Jordan Peele, he's a Pisces. He recreated Twilight Zone on CBS.
Yeah.
We're not like sponsored or anything. It'd be sick if we were. But
Right?
go watch Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone because it's amazing.
And also, listen to some Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Really, the promo is Fearless. Taylor's version just came out, and we hate Scooter Braun. She now owns that album. She owns the music, and we love women supporting women. So even if you don't like Taylor Swift, go listen to Fearless Taylor's version, because you will. Next. Sorry. Aquarius. My very best friend in the whole wide world, Sarah, is an Aquarius.
My moon is an Aquarius. And so when you think about a moon sign, that's kind of like your internal. And you think of the sun and the rising, and that's your external, how you're seen, how you present. Your moon sign is what's happening on the inside. So I'm an Aquarius on the inside, and I think like when you can feel someone's moon sign.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any like empathic tendencies, you can feel someone's moon sign.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't, you can probably feel that I'm kind of a weirdo. I mean,
she
look
looks
at
right
this
at the
mug.
camera.
Look at this mug.
She's got all the piercings, all the tattoos, a shaved head, and a mug with teeth in it. And she's like, don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm kind of a weirdo.
Hey. But that's very much Aquarius vibes to me. Like, they're weirdos, they're independent, but they also want to create community.
Very
Lewis
smart.
Carroll, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
He's an Aquarius.
Yeah. I
I think he did a lot of acid.
Strong opinions, too. Like, my Aquarius best friend, I love her, but there is no changing her opinion. You won't be able to do it. She'll tell you what hers is, and you can tell her what yours is, and she'll just be like, oh, that's nice, but you're wrong. She will not be afraid to tell you that, so. Pisces. My grandma is a Pisces.
My best friend Nicholas. My other best friends. I have a bunch of best friends.
As you should.
One of my best friends, Nicholas, is a Pisces, and he's actually triple Pisces. So his sun, moon, and rising, all in Pisces. He's my little water baby. And I love him so much.
He will be on this podcast later in a different season when we talk about Reiki and healing.
He doesn't know that yet, but
he does. I told him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, cool. I'm like so down, and I was like, I know you are.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, very like emotional, very fluid. Like, I think Pisces are the most watery water sign for sure.
Yeah. People make fun of Cancers for crying all the time, but it's really the Pisces.
It really is the Pisces
that are crying.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, Cancers cry.
But also very much want you to like them, but really so sweet. Like, love the Pisces.
If you have a Pisces in your life, will you just please be gentle with them? They will let you walk all over them. But if you would just, like, be sweet to them.
And tell them you love
like,
them.
You know, you just kind of cradle them.
They're
and
little
love
babies.
them and wrap them and, like, swaddle your Pisces. That's what I ask.
Shall we rank them?
Shall we rank them? Yeah. What's your favorite?
My favorite?
Wait, should we go least favorite?
I think we should start at the bottom, yeah.
My least favorite's Aries.
Aries, yeah.
My second least favorite is probably...
I'm looking at these, yeah.
Sagittarius.
I was either gonna go Sagittarius or Gemini. Yeah, so we'll put Sagittarius and then Sagittarius.
We can have differing opinions, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be the ultimate ranking for between the two of us, but I think I probably would put Sagittarius, like Aries and then Sagittarius and then Gemini for me.
Okay. My third one. Shoot.
Kind of just looking at our list
I
here.
know. Probably, honestly, I'm sorry. I'm going to put Leo.
Leo?
It's my third least favorite.
I think, yeah, I'm gonna do Gemini and then I'm gonna do Leo.
That's fair.
So Aries at the bottom, then Sagittarius, then Gemini, then Leo. We're climbing up here. Then I would probably go.
For me, it's Aquarius sun signs.
Aquarius sun signs. Yeah, I was thinking either Aquarius or Scorpio next. But I do really love Scorpios. So yeah, we can do Aquarius.
Can we?
Yeah. Aquarius. And then it's tough. I'm like torn between,
My next one's Cancer.
yeah, I was gonna say Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces, so we'll go Cancer.
And you know, in this ranking, it's like, honestly, sorry, I've never met an Aries. I liked, but
But I
the
have
rest of them, I've like definitely had so
Yeah.
many good experiences.
Yeah, when we put it towards the bottom, other than Aries, when we put it towards the bottom, it's still, like, you're still a good person, still a good sign.
Still love you.
It just is
Sorry,
like,
Aries.
yeah, it's just about how the energies of our signs in particular match up with this. It's just opinion based.
Yeah.
So Cancer, and then I'd either do Pisces or Scorpio next. What would you do?
It's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard.
It
Actually,
is.
I'm gonna go Virgo next.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Virgos, but we can put it next.
I also love Virgos, but and I tend to get along with Virgos. It's
Yeah.
just they
They're kind of snippy.
they see the details that I hate about myself too
Mm.
easily, and they're like really hard mirrors for me to have. And also, like, depending on the Virgo, it can be really hard to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And I just like to have fun. I'm a Virgo, but I am very quick to laugh. But
I'm
a
gonna-
lot of them, I think it's hard to get them to laugh.
Right after Virgo, I'm going to do Pisces, and then I'm going to do Scorpio. Oh. Yeah?
After Virgo, I'm gonna do Libra.
Oh.
Because my best friend in the whole world is a Libra, and she's so special. But they're so messy. They leave a trail of disorganization behind them.
Disorganization.
And I can't. Actually, no. Wait, did I even put Gemini yet?
No. Well, yeah. So right now it's Aries at the bottom, then Sagittarius, then Gemini, then Leo, Aquarius, Cancer, Virgo, and then I said Pisces and you said Libra. And then I was
Okay.
saying Scorpio. And then I was going to put Libra.
Oh.
I'm putting Taurus at the top. Tauruses
You're
are
putting
my
Taurus
favorite
at the
sign.
top?
Yeah, Tauruses are my favorite sign, for sure. Every Taurus I've ever met is just so good for my brain. Good for my energy. Really love Tauruses. Again, could be a little biased.
I also like Tauruses a lot.
Yeah.
But actually, I rescind my Libra. And I think Libra's actually my favorite. Because while they leave a mess, I haven't met one I didn't get along with.
Yeah.
I love them. I'm bad at ranking.
I'm bad at ranking too because I really do love, like, so many people within all of these signs.
I know.
And I don't want anyone to feel like I'm
I know.
crapping on them.
I know.
But I will probably, I'm just going to quickly say that for me, it's Aries, Sagittarius, then Gemini, then Leo, then Aquarius, then Cancer, Virgo, Pisces, Scorpio, Libra, Capricorn. Other Capricorns can sometimes bother me when they're not the standard of Capricorn I believe they should be. And then I'm gonna do. Wait, what else is left?
Taurus.
Just Taurus?
Taurus?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 10, 11, 12. Yep. So, Taurus at the very top for me, then Capricorn, then Libra. Actually, I'm going to do, for me, personally, I have Taurus at the top, then Capricorn, then Libra, then Virgo, then Scorpio, then Pisces, then Cancer, then Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, Sagittarius, Aries. That's my ranking.
Okay, if I can go top to bottom.
Yeah.
Top to bottom for me, Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, Capricorn, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, Sag, Aries.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I like that for us. And I hope you guys like, but definitely leave comments. Like, tell us your ranking of the signs based off of what we've talked about and who you know that applies to each of the sun signs. I would love to hear. I'd love to spark a discussion, a healthy, respectful discussion. I really don't want to see any negative comments. That hurts my Capricorn brain. And we really are coming from a place where we love everybody but Aries.
Also, if you have any questions, please ask.
Yes.
To toot my own horn, I have a fairly vast knowledge of astrology. So if you have questions, I can probably answer it. And if I can't answer it, then I can look it up and I can let you know.
That's the next one, right? The next
Yeah.
episode. So, just to quickly talk about the next episode, we will be. Oh, did you still want to dive into the podcast chart right now, or did you want to wait?
Let's wait.
Okay. So next episode we will be doing the chart of the podcast, the full birth chart of the podcast, and we'll also be talking about celebrity birth charts of Taylor Swift, obviously,
And Burt
McCracken, who is the lead singer of The Used. So we will be bringing in sort of the elements that made this podcast together, talking about the full charts of both of those. So we hope to see you next week, and thank you guys so much for joining us this week and for just watching our TikToks and being very active. It's really
This was wild.
It really has been wild, truly incredible.
Also, if you want to see my mug, like, you can totally look at our Instagram. You can watch the YouTube. Where else? I
think that's it.
I'll make a TikTok of my mug.
I
Because I
can't
love
wait
my
to see
mug
that.
so much.
Yeah. But anyway, seriously, thank you guys so much, and we will see you all next week with
Love you, babies.
the next Zodiac episode.
Yes.
Cut.
Cut.